This video was sponsored by Squarespace. A few months ago, I made a book out of clay. It was semi-successful. It is a beautiful object, but it didn't fully close, and the sound of the clay hinge was really intense. I thought this would be a nicer sound. That is the opposite of ASMR. Ever since then, I've been brainstorming for a better way to make a clay book, and I think I have an idea. The cool thing about this book is that the entire hinge is made out of clay. From the individual tines to the pin inside, it's all made out of clay. And while I think that this is a really cool technical challenge, I think it's the part of the design that actually makes the least amount of sense. I mean, just because you can make something out of clay doesn't mean you should. So my idea is to recreate this project, but instead of a clay hinge, we're going to bind it with traditional bookbinding techniques. My thought is that this will make a way better, more functional book, and it's also going to allow me to create more interesting designs on the pages because they're all going to be fired separately. So this is my plan, my little prototype. So the blue part is going to be bookbinding tape, and then I've used bookbinding thread to pull it all together. And I kind of had to, I don't know if I invented this, but I kind of had to DIY a little bit the stitching technique, because this is a little bit different than normal books. Normally you attach the book at the end and that's allowing it to hinge. But when you have the hinge halfway into the page, you need to come up with something else. But I practice on this piece. Obviously the wood parts are going to be clay, and that means that it's basically just going to be slabs that I can decorate and then attach them all together after the fire. This is the idea. The first step is to roll out the slabs for the pages. Going to let these firm up overnight, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. I went to the fabric store and the art store this morning, and I bought way too many different kinds of bands and thread. Yeah. My original plan was to use traditional bookbinding thread, which I bought. I bought the only stuff they had at the art store. And unfortunately, this stuff is just it doesn't feel very high quality. It feels very thin. It feels honestly super cheap. And it was the only stuff that was available. So I decided to go to the fabric store, and I found these two different kinds of bands. Of course, you don't need traditional bookbinding band for these blue parts, right? I need a flat woven material for these blue parts that are going to connect each of the pages. This is the traditional stuff. Looks like this. I don't want to unwind it because I think I'm going to return it. And then I got these two options from the fabric store. This one's obviously too wide, but I could fold it over and sew it together. I was envisioning something like an off-white or brown, but then I found this one, and I am very inspired by this one, but I don't know if it's going to be too much. I think I have to wait and see how it's going to look. And then I also bought 3 different types of thread. Again, originally I was going to use real bookbinding thread. It's a waxed, super strong material that's really great for books. But for a project like this, I kind of wanted something heftier. So I found this cotton thread. It came in a pack of these 3 different colors. I really just wanted this one, but I am tempted by these colors. I have to be honest. But then again, if I use it with this, it's gonna get too messy. I mean, I can make all these decisions later, but something in here is inspiring me. And if you hold them up to my clay sample, I don't know, you might find something cool in here. I'm really not sure. The problem is I have to cut holes today, and these are not the same width. So I should decide, but I don't know. I need to think about it. I'm gonna cut out my pages, and then maybe something will become clear to me. Let's take a little break to talk about today's sponsor, Squarespace. If you've never heard about Squarespace before, they are an all-in-one website platform that artists and entrepreneurs use to stand out and succeed online. I've been using Squarespace pretty much ever since I started my online business because it has incredibly easy to use features, including their drag and drop website builder and integrated SEO tools. Whether you're just starting out or managing a thriving brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website to sell anything from physical products to memberships, digital products, and even services. You can also schedule appointments, create on-brand invoices, and send newsletters. And for the artists watching, I know you will love their cutting-edge design tools, where you can create a bespoke website that perfectly fits your brand or business. So head to squarespace.com right now for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/potterytothepeople for 10% off your very first website or domain. Now let's get back to the video. Yeah. These are nice and stiff. Okay, so I've cut out my pages and now I've had to think. I think I'm going to be boring and go for the plain brown. And my reasoning for this is because this is the color kind of combination that I want. I want to do more white than my book, so I thought this would be a better example. So it's going to be sort of this pattern, bigger tiles, but more lighter than the book. I'm like looking at this and I'm like, this is very busy. And if I add this busyness to it, I just feel like it's going to distract from it. Like I want the focus of the piece to be the pages themselves. I want to make them really lush, really beautiful, and really eye-catching. And I don't need this very busy pattern distracting as much as I like this pattern. And I do think it kind of goes, like the colors are very similar, but I want the binding to kind of fade into the background. So I want to use this. I'm going to stitch it together so it's doubled. And also like that's a much better thickness than this. This is way too wide. I'm going to do that, and I might go a little crazy with a thread, but I don't need to decide the thread now. I can go plain white, or it's like an off-white, almost cream color, or I can go do the cream and brown. I can decide the thread later. So my issue right now basically is I need to cut holes for the binding to stitch into. And then the other thing that I'm puzzling about, and I haven't come up with a solution yet, is I need to figure out what's gonna happen with the binding. Like I just put tape on it here, but like what's gonna happen? How is this binding going to conclude? You know, should I just put a nice seam on the end and glue it down? Should I have it wrap further around? Could even have it go on the inside. I could also like build up the clay so that the clay, it would kind of look like it's going into the clay page like it would on like a leather bound book or something like that. I do not know, and I need to decide that now. I feel like it has to be something like that. So imagine like a little clay ridge here, and I would put a sort of space on the bottom. So when I'm putting it all together with glue, I can kind of shove it in there, and it's gonna look like it kind of becomes part of the book. Because it's this, or it's like it just ends. That's an option. It could just end, and I'll put a nice seam on here and just glue it down. There's gonna be 3 of them, just like in our sample here. And I like that our sample, they just kind of like come into the book, but it's obviously gonna be more complicated with clay. I'm not sure. Okay, I figured it out, but I'm not gonna explain it, I'm just gonna show you. Do you see the vision? So I used this little wooden piece to make a little pocket. And then my band can get nestled up in there. And it's obviously bigger, it's too big now, but the idea is that it needs to be big enough so that after it shrinks, it's going to fit nicely. The other thing I thought about was just making a cut in the piece, but then it's going to interrupt whatever is going to be on this side. That might be better. Okay, change of plans. Does this not look so much nicer? A little slot that I can cut out with this guy. So imagine this is the front page here. This part is going to the rest of the binding. And then this is going to fold very neatly back, and I'll just use some strong glue. You won't notice the glue. It will just be very nicely tacked down on the inside. So it'll be actually between the threads actually, which might be kind of nice. We're gonna do this. We're committing. We're gonna do this, and then all we need to do left is cut the holes. No more plans changes. But I do need to remove this, and we see if I can get it to look not terrible. Okay, the sun has completely gone now. It has been such a dreary winter so far, but I finished and I think they look really good. I am so glad. Like, this feels so much better. I can't explain it. This feels so much better than the bumpity bump bit. So all I have to do left is make the holes. They need to be super precise. Like, in order for the book spine to line up really nicely, they need to be even. And this is so much easier to do on paper. I mean, it's not easy, but it's like, you can do it. I'm just gonna try and measure very precisely, and then this is my smallest hole cutter, so this is what I'm gonna use. Where am I gonna put these guys? Okay, I'm going to let these dry for now, but there's one more thing that I need to do today, and that is figure out how I'm going to fire these. Okay, let me explain. Imagine this is my book page. Unlike the other one, I would like to have illustrations on both sides. Like, I want to be able to turn each page and you have a full spread and not just have the glaze on one side. So how am I supposed to fire this? Like, it would be really easy to fire it with just glaze on one side. I could just put it on the kiln shelf like so. But I'm thinking that I need to build some sort of structure that is gonna hold my page upright, and then it can fire like this. Just like in the original book, they fired upright, but they were all attached together, so that wasn't a problem. Now I'm going to fire them separately, so I need something to hold it up. So I have a couple of ideas. I don't know if they're gonna work. I rolled out this 1/2 centimeter slab, and I'm a little grumpy because I had to do it in the same clay so that it shrinks the same. It will shrink with the book pages, but this clay is kind of expensive. But I'd rather that than this shrink too much, and then it like sandwiches my sheets and totally destroys everything. We shall see, we shall see. Do you see the vision here? It's a little loose, like I did, instead of a centimeter wide, which this thing is, I did 12 millimeters. But I think if I put it together with the top, hopefully, I'm having doubts that this is going to work now. Let's just keep going and we see how it works all together. Okay, I think I figured it out. I don't want to get too optimistic, but I feel like this is working. I actually made 3 of them. This one's a little bit longer, and like I might have been able to get away with 2, but what I realized is that what I need to do is instead of putting it on top, put it on the side. And I can rest it like this. Like, look, that already works. And I can put the other one here as like a backup. I feel like this is working. I feel like this is going to work. It's kind of like a brace. Like you can't have 2 shelves going this direction without having a diagonal brace, right? Hence the side bits instead of the top bits. So that's cool. I'm hoping that I'm not going to be bummed about how much is going to get covered up. I suppose I don't need to stick it all the way in. I think it's going to be just fine. So I'm going to let all this stuff, I guess, dry out. I guess it's ready to go. Yeah. I'm going to let it all dry out now. Hopefully my pages aren't going to warp. I did find that they were bending a little bit as I was working with them, but I'm going to dry them slowly under pressure right now. Hopefully it's going to be fine. It is about a week and a half later, and these are fully dried out now. I dried them slowly, first under pressure, and then eventually I separated them so that they could have a little bit more space to dry. So let's put them in the kiln. I think I'm just gonna fire them stacked twice. I probably could do all 4 stacked to save space in my kiln, but that feels a little risky because they are quite fragile. So we'll just do 2 stacked. Okay, be good. Our book pages have officially survived the kiln. Some of them are still a little bit warped, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. So let's talk about my design. I puzzled over this for a really long time. So I wanted to revisit the tile pattern that I used in the first book. I just thought it looked really cool. I kind of want to explore that idea more, but I do want to integrate some kind of literary aspect into these books. Like I want to have words in them. I want it to tell something of a story. So I decided to use my favorite quote from all of literature, at least one that I found so far. It's from the book The Road by Cormac McCarthy. If you haven't read it, great book. I shall read the last line to you. In the deep glens where they lived, all things were older than man, and they hummed of mystery. It's pretty cool, right? I'll let you interpret it however you like, but I just love that quote. I just think it's so cool. So I brought up my friend Stitch Fiddle and we made some pages. And this time, because there are 4 pages, I was able to make 8 designs because I'm doing both sides. So I have a front and a back. These are obviously not the colors they're going to be. I just use highlighter to kind of draw it out. So the back just has the author's name in it, Cormac McCarthy, and the front has some trout because trout are important to that part of the book anyway. And then I wrote out the quote in this sort of tile pattern. I puzzled over this for so long. I spent hours on this yesterday and like I had to redo a couple of them to get it right. Obviously, I still don't know what it's gonna look like. Like I'm gonna try and emulate this, but I don't know, you know, the colors are gonna be completely different. It's gonna look completely different, but what can you do? So let's try and do this today. I want to try and glaze them all. And I have something now that's going to help me with this next step a heck of a lot more than just the tape. I got a new tool. This is not the tool, but this is the material. So over the holidays, I gave myself a Christmas present and I bought myself what I'm calling like a prototype machine. It does laser, it does cutting, it does all sorts of things that I haven't even like explored yet. It's only been a couple of weeks. And I'm gonna talk about this machine more in a different video, but I'm gonna use it today to cut out stencils because I don't wanna tape all that anymore. That was really, really tedious. And we've got a lot to glaze today. So this material, this is just stencil film from Cricut. It's actually Cricut branded, even though I'm not using a Cricut machine. There wasn't that many options here in Germany. I think in the US, there are a lot more options for this type of stencil film. I think it's gonna work. I hope it's going to work. Let us go check out the machine. Should I take you with me? You guys don't know how the rest of this basement looks. So this is a huge basement. And my glazing room is right here. But if you follow me, it might be a little messy. Follow me back into this room. This is where I do my woodworking stuff. And then, we have our wood storage. I don't know why I'm taking you on a tour. And then we have my little machine back here. This is just an empty room before, so it's cool to finally have a use for it. Oh, I have my boxes stored over there. Look at my beautiful baby working away back here. I don't know if you can see it because of the reflection. I hope it's going to work. Like, I did one tiny, oh, I have it here. I did one teeny tiny little tester and that worked. I hope I can actually peel out little squares and it's gonna work. So this guy needs another 13 minutes. So I'm gonna let him work and I'll see you when it's done. It's done. Probably can't even see because I need to remove it, but I'm excited. Let us see if it fits. Oh, that's very fun. Wow. I kind of want to use these little dots for something. Okay. How cool is that? Unfortunately, I have to have a decent sized border because of the little guys that are gonna hold it up. Realizing I didn't factor in for these when I made my design. That sucks. Fishies are gonna be cut off. Just gonna quickly transfer with pencil. And then we see if we have to redesign. First problem that we are facing. So I didn't connect that my design would go over these holes. So that was kind of dumb. And with my fish, I don't know if you can tell. Can you see the outlines of the fish? I just sort of transferred them over. These bottom two fish, maybe if I hold this up next to it, you can see. These bottom two fish are actually miraculously lining up so that they miss the holes. But this middle fish, the one that's facing this way, his face is being cut off, which is not cool, especially when you add the binding. Like, I could just put the fish in between. Have one fish going this way, one fish going that way. That's way better because then it makes sense with the design. Okay, I'm just gonna do two fish. I'm just gonna nudge this guy down, nudge this guy up so that they're in between the binding bits. And then if I have to, I can fill in the gaps with some sort of design. Already things are going not according to plan. And I think the cover is really important to get it right. Okay, it's gonna be fine. I wanna try and get some glaze on this now. Let's just move forward. Okay, here is the design so far, and the rest I'm going to fill in with white. I'm kind of kicking myself because I don't have enough of these things. I have 4 bottles and I have 5 colors that I'm working with, and it's very annoying that I can't have a 5th bottle. So I'm going to have to constantly be emptying one of the bottles out and refilling with white to kind of get through these. It is what it is. Okay, wow. She's done. The first one, that was a lot more intense than I expected because I've done this project before with the grid and the little glaze guys, but everything that could go wrong did go wrong. I've learned to not store my glazes in the bottles because they will turn rock hard. That was not very fun to deal with. I want to peel this off, but I want this to dry fully first. Let me get the next grid guy going. I believe I can use these twice. According to Redacted Ceramics, I can use them twice, but I'm going to alternate. the holes are just lining up with the first ones. So at least the interior pages might be fine. I'm gonna just take it tile by tile, I think. I might have to shift some of them. I might have to redesign some of them, but I'm just gonna take it tile by tile. I cannot handle figuring that out in advance somehow. I don't know, that somehow seems impossible to me. Let us peel this guy off. Let's get some joy in our lives right now. Maybe I can't, oh, I'm not gonna be able to reuse this. This is breaking, it's straight up breaking, okay. The gap I have between the tiles is 1 millimeter. Maybe that's too little, I don't know. Okay. That was very not fun. I don't know why my vinyl is breaking. Yeah, wow. Let's see if that happens on the rest of them. That was kind of annoying, but it's possible to peel it off nearly individually, piece by piece. Our fishies. We're not gonna let it get us down. I'm gonna move on to the next one before I start doing the flip side. I kind of want to just like get a few reps in and practice. And yeah, then let's just get through the rest of these, huh? Oh my goodness. That took 2 days to glaze them all and to peel off the remains of the vinyl. I had no idea it was going to take so long, honestly. Like, I thought this would be a fairly simple project. I don't know why it took so long. I feel like this took way longer than my mug. But anyway, it took the time that it needed. And I'm pretty happy about them. I did have to, last night I did change the design a little bit. And my border so far has worked, even though I've been like shuffling them around and dropping them and whatnot. I haven't knocked any of the glaze squares off. I think they look really good. Let us put these in our little structure here, and hopefully this is gonna go smoothly because I'm tired. Please. Okay. This looks kind of crazy, but I feel like it might work, which is crazy. You're not going to be able to see this, but I can sort of peek in between, and the structure is not touching the glazed part. Like, I mean, you can see how it's here. It's coming close, but it's not quite touching. We will fire it like this. I kind of wish I had also made one for the top too. Didn't think of that. They should be fine. The reason I didn't, I could have theoretically just fired them flat like this, laying flat with the edges supporting, but I feared that it would just sink in the middle. Like, shall we load this in the kiln? I can't believe this project is almost finished. This has been a slog. Okay, let's not break this, please. You know, as I was walking over here, I thought of something that could go terribly, terribly wrong if the glaze drips, like if we have a lot of movement in the glaze. And I feel like it did a little bit on the cup, but not much on the mug. So I feel like it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine. I just hope that my structure doesn't fall over. I kind of wish I had attached these two now, even if it's like, I wouldn't be able to use this again. Am I even gonna use it again, you know? Seriously, I tell you this in all my pots, but please pray for this one in particular. This It's a very special project. I feel like they're kind of like leaning to one side, and that's a little scary. We shall see. Okay, the kiln is ready to be opened. I have to say I'm not feeling super confident right now. My fear is that they fell over and into the other pot that was in there. Oh my goodness, okay. They haven't fallen over. Look at that. Do we think that we can remove them? Because it looks really good. It's a little warped. Look at my fish. They look so cool. It's not very flat, but it's fine because we can make the binding as loose as we need. I have gathered quite some supplies to play around with. I was really expecting to go with this. This is, I found a much nicer book tape than this cheapo stuff. This is the stuff that I remember using when I was working as a bookbinder, but I think I have to go with the darker color. It just looks better. This just looks a little bit disjointed to me. This would look really beautiful on a project that wasn't so dark. Oh, this is like so not centered. Hello. What I was saying is the clay darkens the whole piece quite a bit. So I just feel like this is a bit harsh. I have to go with the brown, and I think the brown looks good. I was fully expecting to use like very basic, simple white string, white book tape, but I think I have to use this because that's going to unify the crazy textures and the browns, frankly, with the book tape. So I feel like that's the way to go. I think it's gonna look cool. So what I'm gonna do first, I need to set up the book tape first. Just double check we're putting it as an order because we're binding this now. In the deep glands where we live. Just gonna cut way more than I need just to be safe. I think that's how I started. I'm just gonna start. I might have to do this a couple times. It's one of those things that it's so hard to kind of wrap your mind around, at least for me. But just doing it, your hands kind of figure it out. Like you take each one step by step, and you kind of figure it out. This is my experience with bookbinding. I think that's it. No? Yeah, that's it. Look at this. So it's not as tidy as I would have liked. I partially blame the very soft book tape that I made. It's not the best material. It's not the best materials, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Let's finish putting it together. I'm tickled that I didn't actually run out of string. Thank goodness. Okay, it is done. Let us have a look. Does it function as a book? Check. Does it sound way better than my previous book that had the ceramic hinge? Check. Am I 100% happy with it? Not check. I'm a little disappointed about the binding itself. It doesn't look as good as it looked in my head. The color of the brown is good. It's good. It's good enough anyway. And then as I was binding, I was like, this is not the right string here. This really is not the right string. It's too bright. It takes the focus away from the real art, which is the tiles. The words, like, I don't know, I'm curious to hear, like, obviously I know what they say. I'm curious to hear if you think it's legible or like some parts are legible. That said, it doesn't really bother me that much that it's a little bit on the edge, to be honest, because it like lends to this kind of like mystery bit. And, you know, maybe it's like an ancient tome kind of situation. This wasn't really about the quote itself, although like I love the quote. It was more about the look of the tile effects. But am I happy with this project? 1000%. I love my fishies. I kind of want to do something else with them. Like, I love the tile fish. I love tile animals. There's this one artist, I cannot remember his name at the moment, but he made this incredible mural completely made with tiles of all of these animals. Like, it's like almost like a jungle scene. It's like very, very dense animals, fish, birds. So I think that this is so cool. I'm very curious what you think about it. I would be keen to try this project again. I do just need to figure out the binding thing. I just feel like it's not quite right. But I am still very, very happy with this project. I think we're headed in the right direction. I think it's beautiful and it works. Like, my God, we have a ceramic book. Like, how cool is that? I love the kind of mixed media element of it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if you think that I should try this project again. If you have an idea for a different kind of variation that you think would look really cool, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.